Good day thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm CraigTheWriter Stewart, and this is So Much to Say YouTube TV. These are my thoughts, in my voice, on black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. Now, So Much to Say YouTube TV is the place that you come to learn and grow. So go ahead and hit the like button, the share button, and the subscribe button. And turn on that little bell so that you get a notification every single time that I go live or I upload something new. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
They love to pin they love to pin sexuality on predators, and so
Sexual predators, pedophiles.
pedophiles. You know, here's what's unfortunate for me. I read this thing that just popped up before we came on from BallerAlert, right?
Mm-hmm.
Writing this open letter to Tyler Perry. Craig, are you going to read it?
I'm about to grab it.
I read the letter. Craig, read it, and then we'll discuss it.
Where you send it? Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So it says to Tyler Perry. This letter comes from a place of love and long-standing admiration. From your early plays to dominating Hollywood with your own studio. You've shown us what's possible when vision meets resilience. We've watched you write, direct, and produce your way into history, becoming a symbol of success in the Black community. You're not just an entertainer, you're an inspiration. And because of that, we feel connected to you. So when recent allegations made headlines, while some were stunned, others weren't shocked at all. Not because of any wrongdoing, those legal matters will have their day in court. But because the speculation around your personal identity has lingered for years. The truth is, many of us saw what you've never confirmed. And through it all, our love for you hasn't changed. If anything, it's deepened. We remember you opening up to Oprah about the pain of childhood trauma, about the confusion and hurt from abuse. That was a raw, vulnerable moment that made us feel even closer to you. You've always urged us to live in our truth through the characters you bring to life. Now, maybe it's your turn to do the same. Allegations aside, your legacy is already cemented. And there's another kind of freedom waiting when you stop hiding pieces of who you are. Whatever truth you've been wrestling with, know that it won't push us away. If anything, it'll bring us closer. Just like you've done for years, lifted us up with your stories. Now let us lift you up with our acceptance. Somebody wrote the shit out of that.
And then would you like to?
Yes.
And
So then after this letter came out, Jerome Trammell made a comment about it, which I found I liked it.
Okay.
Actually. Jerome said, Tyler Perry is facing allegations of sexual assault, and BallerAlert wrote an open letter saying, allegations aside, come out. Sexuality has nothing, and I repeat, nothing to do with a person being an abuser. Using this angle sends a dangerous and despicable message about the Libiquita Plus community. And I agree.
I agree too.
Because as much as they try, just like what's going on in the country right now, they're labeling us trans women out to be, we're in the bathrooms looking for women. Like we want to be in the bathrooms with women because we're trying to sexually assault kids and this and the other, right? And they've forgotten that the highest number of sexual predators are uncles.
People in your family.
Straight
people you
ones.
already know.
Straight ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just recently in the bathroom, men, heterosexual, cisgender, straight men placed a camera in the women's bathroom. Men. Not this kind of man. Men.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And all of that I agree with completely. Devil's advocate, I do think that in some, and I'm not talking about Tyler Perry. Aside from that, I agree with everything that you just said. But aside from that, I think that in instances where people aren't, when men, because I can't speak of what lesbians do or undercover women do or DL women do, but in a lot of instances, like you'll see like these Catholic priests or these ministers of these churches, or even like we talked about, you've seen like senators and shit, people in government, you'll see them going into like restrooms in an airport and they're tapping their feet under the airport and they get caught, you know, and they're exposed as this married senator from Connecticut, da 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 da. I think that what happens is when you suppress a part of yourself, eventually it erupts and it has to go someplace. And I think that it's something, it's for in the instances that I've always considered or thought about, it's something about the age somewhere between 28 and 30. I think you can kind of suppress it for a very long time, but it's something about the age 28 and somewhere around 28 and 30, because you're kind of becoming more of who you're going to be. It has more to do with when you're turning that milestone of turning 30, you're shedding this side of yourself where you care about what people think. You're coming more into your own, right? You're leaving your 20s, you're going into your 30s. But it's something to be said when these men, and again, I'm not talking about Tyler, like we see it all the time, like these men who are creating legislation in government. They are married, they live in a suburb somewhere in Massachusetts or wherever the fuck they live, and they're creating policies against LGBTQ plus people. But then you find out they got a Grindr account because they don't live a gay life. They don't move in gay circles. They don't have gay friends. They're not interested in a relationship with someone of the same sex. They, again, bob and weave between the straight and gay worlds. They only come over on this side to get off, to have sex, but they live a straight life. They have children. They have a wife. You understand? They're not interested in participating over here. But I think what happens is after a while, because I always look at these stories, I'm like, why would you put yourself at risk like that? But what happens is those feelings overtake you, and you can suppress it for as long as you can until you can't. And you might be walking through the airport, and then you lock eyes with somebody, or you understand what I'm saying? Like we see these stories all the time, and they never make sense. But until you think about all of the years that they suppressed it, and they have nowhere else to go, and then they got porn on their website, on their computers at work. You understand? Like it's always the same kind of a story because they're trying to deny a part of themselves, and you can't do it, but for so long you can't.
Right.
I was involved briefly with a married man who believed he had the courage to leave his wife to be with me and to live his truth. This isn't the typical story of a married man promising to leave his wife for a secret lover. Rather, this is a story in part about a gay man who knew he was gay before he got married, but chose to marry a woman because he didn't know how to break free. Rocky and I met on a gay social media site 3 months after I returned to the East Coast to live, and just 11 months after he was married. At the time we met, he was living and working in Dubai as a contractor for the government on a military base, while his wife was stationed in Tallahassee, Florida, where they had a home. In one of the first messages he sent me, Rocky shared that he was married, but that he had regrets. He explained that he had come out to his mother and siblings when he was 18 years old. He sat there. To listen to more of One Thing for Certain, Two Things for Sure, a memoir continued, visit audible.com.